Hello everybody, and this video we're going to talk through some of the equipment that you can use during a Pilates session. So the first thing to say is a lot of the courses will not require you to have equipment, but there are going to be some that show you different things that you can do. So the first thing that's really important is the mat. People often ask me about the differences between the mat that I will use to practice Pilates and also when I practice my yoga. So this is a slightly thicker yoga mat. Yoga mats intentionally are for gripping. You are not often lying down on your back as much, and they tend to be thinner. The Pilates mats that I really like to use are 15mm thick mats. Can you see that? Should I bring it close to the camera? So can you see the thickness on that mat? And most people who come to Pilates for the first time have never used these mats, and they're just like, oh my gosh, these are so nice and so comfortable. So wherever you start, it's okay. Obviously, if you have thick carpet, you may find that if you've got a yoga mat, you can carry on using it. Then what do we use for our head? So when I have been teaching, I normally offer an opportunity, if we're in a practice, if you're coming to see me one-on-one, to use head blocks or to use pillows. The really important thing is that your neck is comfortable. And when we're looking at supporting our body, we all have very different structures in our head and neck. Some of you will be a little bit flatter, and therefore you don't need such a high pillow or block. Others of you will have a bit more rounded upper spine, and then you'll need more support. So we need our blocks and pads to do a couple of things. We need them to be able to go under our head in lying when we're on our back, under our forehead for when we're on our stomachs, and really supporting this space between the ear and the tip of our shoulder inside line. So if you have a pillow that is comfortable at home, you can start there. I have a range of every single size, okay? So these are soft foam pads. So if I pop this one down and pick this up, so this is yoga pads or more traditional hard pads. So there really isn't much give in there. Again, some people do like them, so listen to yourself. I don't use them as much. These are nice and bendy and squishy. So this is 1 inch. This is 2 inch. And you can guess the middle size, that's 3 inch. Can you see them all? Kind of if I do that, you can kind of see that that's a little bit of a sandwich, 1, 2, and 3. I have a selection. I think I've got quite a lot of equipment because I teach, and also it depends on how my body is feeling. So you're looking for soft foam Pilates pads. So just a really quick demo with those. If I'm lying on my back, for me, I could think about ensuring that my head isn't falling backwards because it's too thin, or if it was too fat, let's imagine I put this up. You know, you can see that I'm getting a really, really beautiful double chin because everything's too squashed. If I'm doing exercises lying on my stomach, there will be an option where I talk about if we're not using our arms to use, sorry, not using our arms, that we can use our arms here. But otherwise, you need to be able to breathe. And quite often as a teacher, people just face plant into their pillows and blocks, which isn't really reassuring. So this is going to go underneath your forehead. And again, you may need to play with different sizes. I have worked with some people who just use an extra towel. They've got a thin block and then they use a towel. Lying on your side, depending on the shape of your shoulder, I quite like to have kind of, that's the equivalent of 3 inches. So when I lie on my side, that's really nice and comfortable. Or if anything, I could possibly argue that I could pump that up a little bit more, and that's just going to give me some nice neck support. Occasionally, you will see me teach an exercise with my arm here, and you can use a 2-inch pad, you can use a 1-inch pad. A lot of people do not find that position comfortable, and so I really encourage people to just support their neck in whichever way is best for them. So what else is useful? This little pad. I love this little pad, this 1-inch pad, because many of us, even on a soft, squishy mat, will have tenderness in our joints, quite normal. So if your shoulder's a bit sore, you can pop that underneath there if you're lying on your side. I sometimes use it under my elbow, depending on what I've done at work that day. Really great under hip. So some women more than men will find if you lie on your side, having that pad underneath the hip can feel very comfortable. If we do things in kneeling, again, you can just pop your knee onto that. So they're the main pieces of equipment for any level that we're doing. From here,